There are so many things happening in the real estate market currently with interest rates, with Compass, with Redfin, with Zillow. Guys, there are so many things and so many factors that are going to affect our market. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. So, if you're thinking about moving in the Sacramento area, which is one of the strongest markets, in my opinion, in the United States, we're going to talk about not only these things that are going to impact the entire real estate market, but also how they affect us specifically in Sacramento. Let's get into the show. Let's go. All right, guys. Hopefully, you're having a fun evening. The weather is nice here in Sacramento, and it's been crazy. I mean, look at last week, right? Rates went down. The lowest they've been in 3 years, and all of a sudden, what do we see Monday? Because of everything that's happened in the world, all of a sudden rates kind of started going up again too. So people have been kind of freaking out. People have been guessing which way rates are going to go. Um, what is it like? War breeds fear, and with that, investors usually go the safest things, which is bonds. And usually they buy bonds, and then interest rates, mortgage rates go down. But we're not seeing as much of that right now. And I think Monday, if we see it right here and glasses go on, we see this, and it kind of ticked up. Monday and Tuesday, all of a sudden we got rates that went up a little higher. And I don't think a lot of people expected that for us. But for me, I just, how I am, guys. I normally talk from like what I'm seeing as far as myself. And I think the biggest thing right now in the market is fear. I think a lot of people are wondering what's going to happen as far as the uncertainty, as far as, everyone's saying, oh, you know what, bonds, invest in bonds are the safest thing. A lot of people that I know, a lot of clients that I'm working with, a lot of friends and family, everyone wants to keep their money really close by. Everyone's anticipating gas prices going up, inflation's going to be high, food prices are going to be up there as well too. And I think, you see all the news and the headlines about people saying, oh, the bond market, a lot of people are going to be buying bonds, interest rates could go down and everything should be good. But I think a lot of people that I know are trying to keep their money kind of like liquid. They want to basically be able to buy gas if gas prices go up, which everyone's assuming they will be. And I think a lot of people right now are just feeling unsure about how long we're going to be in war. Just everyone feels very, very uneasy at this moment, which doesn't make the real estate market a fun thing to do at this moment. Everyone feels like, is this the right move? Do I want to like get all my money, put that 20% down on a house and do that? Like, what is the right move? And I think that's kind of what we're feeling right now in the Sacramento area. A lot of people are like, you know what, I might put a little bit of a pause and I might just, wait a little bit and see maybe a little bit later in the year if it's a good spot to move in. Now, on the other side of the thing is like we're seeing inventory pop on the market right now too. We are seeing buyers kind of trickle in, but that was last week. This week now, all of a sudden, it's been a little bit colder. And I've talked to a lot of realtor, a lot of mortgage people, and they're just kind of feeling right now that, with us being in war and everything too, it's just people are just getting very, very nervous. People have more of a push to fill their cars up with gas, stock some food up and everything too, as opposed to go out there and buy homes. Now, for a lot of people, it's basically, I call it positioning. And I had a nice conversation with a gentleman just a little while ago. And he was like telling me, you know what, financially, I'm good. I'm, where I should be. I got money saved up. So for him, he's thinking, positioning himself. He's like, if the right opportunity comes my way during this whole period, if maybe people are freaking out, people are selling, like, this is where I want to put my money. And I do think it has to do a lot with positioning and where you are in life and what you're doing. So I do think that. Now, as far as for sellers who are thinking about maybe like, selling their home and they're waiting until maybe April or May, part of the sellers need to wonder is like, is it going to get worse as far as the fear that's hitting the market, as far as people saying to themselves, like, maybe now is not a great time to buy with us, going to be seeing gas prices go up. You know how it is. Fear and everything kind of grips a hold of people and people are like, oh my God, gas prices are going to go through the roof, then food prices, then everything else, high inflation, production costs and everything too. So I think that we're seeing a lot of people look at that and just go like, I'm just not really sure exactly if buying is right. Now, as I always say on this channel, I do think Sacramento is one of the stronger markets in the United States. I do think that, our growth potential, all the schools being built and everything too in Sacramento, we're one of those markets that if you've seen it, we keep growing and growing and growing through some markets where other people have basically, stopped building, like, North Dallas, I think, or North Houston, they stopped building even over there. We keep going and going and going. We got Top Golf coming out. We got what's called the new surf park coming out in West Roseville. We just opened up a new Costco. We're gonna have one El Dorado Hills, and we have all these new communities sprouting up, which means like new schools, fire departments, police departments, parks, and everything too. So we're still kind of chugging along, but I would say that with everything that's happening in the world right now, people are kind of freaking out, and there's more than just that. This week also is we're going to get into some slides that I have just for you guys. We're going to talk a little bit about some things that are going to impact this market that you guys really need to kind of be aware of. We're going to talk about a big report that's coming out today, this week as well too, on the 6th. I think it's the 6th of this week, and how this stuff is going to impact. Let's talk to some people right now. Devin, how you doing? What's up, brother? The weather this week has been beautiful. Hopefully you've been able to enjoy that pool. That's a nice pool. It's amazing how weather change can make a house look better. Weather matters. Weather is absolutely huge. Not only weather for houses, weather for like just your sunny disposition. For me, waking up and seeing blue skies and seeing like, some clouds here and there, but I like clouds, and seeing, just the lush greenery that's happened because of the rain. I love it. It always inspires me to go out. I love going for walks. After this podcast I'm going to go for a walk as well too. But I do think that sunny weather's here. Yes, it will get hot here in Sacramento. It always does. But at the same time, this time of the year is very, very special here in the Sacramento area. I think the weather is just perfect. You can wear still like nice clothes if you want warm clothes. It's not too brutal, because it does get a little brutal during summertime. And this is one of those weather that you kind of start looking at the pool and start thinking to yourself, okay, what's this? You have bought subs. Okay. I mean, I don't, but let's see if we can deal with you right now. Boom. All right. Where are we? You have bought subs. I literally don't know where these people come from. Okay, well, we don't have bot subs. People have actually, and you'll see through this live broadcast, there'll be a lot of people kind of tuning in. So I don't really get it. Hopefully we can kind of get that off. Let me actually see if I can do that from here. Now, as far as you guys go, what are you guys seeing in the market as far as everything goes? For me, I'm seeing it be a little cold, but if you're a realtor out there and you're kind of working and everything too, I kind of want to know what you guys are feeling. For me, straight up, I feel like it's cold a little bit. I think it was getting a little warm last year, but I think at the same time, here we go. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Done. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Let me just get to this guy real quick. All right. Got a channel. Man, I hate when people do these type of things. It really, really does get annoying. All right, let me see what I can do. Oh, well, all right. Well, we might have to deal with this guy during the whole course of the broadcast. All right, so here we go. Hello, happy to be here. Happy to have you here as well, too. Good evening. I like it. What was it called? I want to say thank you for giving my home a shout out last month. We had halfway through the escrow and contingencies, and this week, house shopping has been a pain though. Yeah, inventory, I mean, everyone's like, oh, inventory's coming back. But honestly speaking, I think inventory is coming back, but we're seeing a lot of the stuff that was listed last year. I think some of the good stuff hopefully will be coming out, hopefully a little bit more towards like end of March and April. But again, I do think that everyone's watching rates. I think everyone's watching oil prices as well too. Everyone's kind of waiting to see exactly what happens in the world. And I don't blame them. This week it was such a weird thing too, guys. It was like such a switch. Last week, everything was kind of going crazy, as far as realtors I was talking to and everything too. And then this week it just kind of slowed down just a little bit. It was just, I think there was just a little apprehension. A lot of people were just kind of like, thinking to themselves, this is the right time to move, which I think, it's just about, oh my God, love this. This is actually the first time this happened to me. Interesting. The mask. Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. I'm in Folsom. There's constant building. I love Folsom. Okay. So let me ask you something. Being in Folsom, do you like the fact that they're building so many homes in Folsom right now too? A lot of people I talk to in Folsom, one of the things they always mention is the fact that, like, Folsom, East Bidwell is becoming a little bit of a traffic jam. A lot of people also in Folsom are feeling that, they're building so many homes and so much stuff in Folsom that they're kind of, taking away from everything that is in Folsom and why people move there in the first place. I'm in mixed emotions because I do think that, what was I gonna say? I do think that, there is a danger of building too much in areas like Folsom, areas like El Dorado Hills. I mean, the Sacramento area is so beautiful as it is, Northern California, hills, views, and everything too. I think there should be a little bit of a limit in certain spots. But they're going to keep building. Taylor Morrison's going to build another community out there. I've heard at least 4 or 5 other communities being built. So it will be interesting. God, I love this guy. You have bot subs. I would say keep commenting. You have bot subs because every time you put a comment here, it triggers the algorithm to boost this live broadcast even more. So keep throwing them out there. That's awesome. Okay, so let's go to some comments and let's go to some slides I have for you guys tonight. And hopefully you guys are having a fantastic evening. All right, let's go. All right, first of all, interest rates. As we saw it last week, we dipped somewhat under 6s. First time in the last 3 years that we've been down this low. But as we saw it Monday and Tuesday, we spiked up high. Now, the interesting thing is about today, we saw it kind of dip a little lower. So for me, I was kind of like thinking to myself, I'm just not sure exactly what's happening. A lot of people with the economy also, it's just a crazy one. It's just, there was such a pause happening this week because of the war. That I don't know. Let me ask you guys out there, for all of you who are not bots and are watching the live broadcast, let me know exactly what you guys are thinking specifically. Is the war, are impending like gas prices possibly going up, oil prices going up? Is that something that for you is pausing your house search? Is it something that for the most part is making you rethink the home buying process? I just want to know because I am getting certain calls like that. I just want to know how you guys are feeling directly. All right. Now let's go to some other stuff about world events. We got Zillow. Now, Zillow has always kind of been the big boy in the real estate industry, right? Zillow here, we have big Zillow Flex teams. Now, Zillow Flex teams are partnered with Zillow. So they're large, big teams like Culberson Gray, like in Folsom. There's some other teams and everything too, and they're really tied into Zillow. And Zillow provides them leads. They pay Zillow a piece of the pie, and everyone moves on their merry way. Now, Zillow and Compass has been feuding for a long, long time. Compass had this like private kind of list of like coming soon listings, and Zillow was basically saying that, we're going to block you guys from putting your listings on if you do that. So what Compass did, which was very, very interesting and happened last year, is Compass purchased, they purchased Coldwell Banker, they purchased Redfin, they purchased, all these brokers, Better Homes Garden. So now they have this kind of stockpile of brokerages, stockpile of listings that they can kind of, do whatever they want with in a weird way. Now, a lot of people might not know how real estate works. If you work with an agent for the most part and you have a listing, right? What ends up happening is that listing is kind of, I don't want to say owned, but that listing is by the brokerage. So when you list with an agent at Coldwell Banker essentially has that listing. So when Coldwell Banker is under the umbrella now of Compass, they have all these listings now too, and they can actually go toe to toe with Zillow. Compass was very strategic, and they partnered with Redfin, partnered with Rocket as well too. So what you're seeing right now is a big kind of war. Now, Compass's CEO made it, he's straight up. He's like, I don't like Zillow. Zillow is not on my list. And so by them partnering with Redfin, with Rocket, they've kind of taken up arms against against Zillow, pardon me. And so now we're seeing this big war happen. Now, where it comes to be really, really important is the fact that coming soon in the real estate market has always been one of those things that's taboo. You don't want to have those days on the market if you're listing a home. So for the most part, coming soon listings are those listings that, let's say you sign a listing agreement and your listings can come in like in a month or 2 months or whatnot, that's kind of a coming soon. Hey, I have a listing in Folsom coming up. Now, unless you have an MLS waiver, that's not something you can do. The MLS frowns on it, and you actually get days docked, and it just becomes a big deal. Now, what Compass is saying is like, we want to basically advertise our coming soon listings to the people who decide to go with Compass. Okay, it is what it is. So what now Compass is doing, because they have this power now by buying all these brokerages, by partnering with Redfin and Rocket, what they're going to be doing in the next couple months is that they're going to allow Redfin access to their coming soon listings. So for like the person who's looking to buy a house, let's say in Folsom, and you're going, man, Folsom, man, there's no listings hitting the market. I'm really frustrated. Well, on Redfin in the near future, you're going to be able to see houses that are going to be coming soon to the market, probably like 30 days before they hit the market, and you're going to be able to have access to it. Now, this is where it gets a little dicey, because coming soons also were a way to basically kind of leverage the idea that you would use, like, whatever agent it is. If like an agent says, hey, I got a listing, a lot of people would like bypass a realtor and go directly with the agent. And so this is where everything is coming really, really interesting. You're not really allowed to do coming soon, but a lot of people do. Now, what they're hoping to do by these coming soon listings is to basically cripple Zillow. This is a huge, huge play against Zillow. I mean, how many people out there, if you had an app that showed you coming soon listings, that were coming soon to the market that you were looking at, and you were having a hard time finding inventory 30 days, let's say, before they hit the market? I mean, how many people out there would actually want to see that? Well, a lot of people. And so what I'm going to guess is going to happen is there's going to be a big power struggle between, like I mentioned, these two groups. It's going to be Zillow. Now, what you notice also is because Compass has like the Coldwell Bankers, Sotheby's, a bunch of brokerages. What I see with Zillow, a lot of the time, the Zillow Flex teams are like EXP, LPT, and more of those type of brokerages. So you're going to have this kind of struggle for you guys. And I think, at this point, buyers kind of win a little bit, because you're going to get the coming soon listings. You're not forced to kind of go to Zillow's platform. You're going to have choices, which is good. But this is going to be a huge, huge thing right now, too. Now, Rocket stepped in as well, too. And Rocket is offering, to help ease the pain of your mortgage struggles as well, too, with their offerings as well, too. So you have a very kind of like an even battle at this point. Zillow has been the dominant force. Zillow has been the dominant force in real estate as far as one spot that sucks up data, one spot that provides leads to realtor. Do they do it a little bit? Everyone kind of does, right? You go to Rocket, you go to Redfin, you go to realtor.com, you go to Zillow, and there is a little bit of that, shake and bake. Who really is the listing agent? Who do I contact if I want to see that house? They all kind of do it, right? But basically the Compass CEO is saying, we're going on against Zillow. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how this all shakes up. Now, I try to take myself out of the realtor space, and I jump in there as more of like a person looking for a home, right? If I'm someone who's looking for a home in, like, let's say Gold River, Folsom, El Dorado Hills, and I'm not seeing the inventory I want to see, I probably would download the Redfin app. I would probably go on there and see those coming soon so I can get a little jump on the market. And I think a majority of the people who are going to probably look or want to look, as long as they know this is available, they're probably going to jump on the coming soon. So Zillow now, in a weird way, has to make a move. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what type of move they plan on making, but Zillow needs to make a move, because Zillow sells leads. They are basically the powerhouse in our industry right now for leads, for visibility and everything too. This is the biggest threat I've ever seen to Zillow. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this whole thing breaks down. I don't know really what's going to happen. Myself, we do all our business usually off YouTube. But I will tell you one thing that we are going to start to do on this channel as well too, is that I've talked to my broker about this, is that anyone who lists with our team, we will be running your listing on our channel as a coming soon listing before it hits the market. Not your address, but it's going to be a coming soon, and it's going to showcase your house before it hits the market. So we can see what type of interest your house is having. We'll know exactly, the marketing will be out there ahead of time. So it won't be one of those things where you're going to kind of cross your fingers when it goes live. We're going to kind of know a little bit about it based on the video. Now, the video is also going to have marketing budgets behind it. So we're going to release your video, your home, if you list with us on this channel, not only on this channel, which is the largest channel in the Sacramento area, but we're also going to market it towards the San Francisco area, DMA, San Jose, San Francisco. We're going to market it towards LA. We're going to set up marketing strategies. So 30 days before your house actually hits the market, is ready to sell, If all goes well and we can get your house ready, your video will actually be playing beforehand. So you're actually going to know a little bit on like what the activity is looking like for your house. And so it's going to be fun. I'm excited to do that for our listings. The first one we're going to have is going to be a listing that we have in Rockland. We have one coming up in West Sacramento as well too. Those listings will be completely full video tour on this channel. Now, I'm not going to be like Redfin or Rocket or Compass. If there is a realtor out there who watches the channel, who has a listing and they're thinking about, you know what, I really would love to get a little marketing promotion behind my video. I'd love to get it out there before it hits the market, and they get the MLS waiver signed, they get permission from the owner, reach out to me, and I'd love to promote it on this channel as well too, so we can give people who watch this channel access to coming soon homes. Not just photos, not just descriptions, not just bed and bathroom count, but a full walk-on tour where I'm going through the house, I'm showing bedrooms, I'm showing bathrooms, I'm showing kitchen, I'm showing backyard, I'm showing everything. And so that way you guys are gonna know exactly what the house looks like before it even hits the market. So stay tuned. I'm super excited for this. And, you know, for me, I look at it this way, you know, if Redfin and, you know, if Compass is doing it, why can't we do it here? But why can't we do it better? Why can't we do it with videos showcasing the entire house? So that way you're going to know what's coming soon. You're not only going to know what's coming soon, but you're going to know what really it's like in that house and every aspect of it. So expect that on this channel in the near future. And I'm super excited to launch this. I've actually reached out to about 7 or 8 realtors as well too, who are really good, really like nice realtors as well too. So we're probably going to get you a lot of coming soon listings on this channel. And that's yet another reason to subscribe to the channel. All right, next one. Been shopping in Lincoln for a home and the competition is crazy. Is Lincoln an anomaly or is this normal compared to North Highlands? Okay, so here's the thing about Lincoln. Lincoln is right now on fire, right? Their new community, Liberty, Bickford Ranch is out there too. The airport is going nonstop. Lincoln used to be early 2000s, the fastest growing city in the entire United States, and Lincoln is on fire. Lincoln is one of those spots that people absolutely love. The only negative about Lincoln was always the fact that it was a little far from downtown Sacramento. It was a little too far of a drive. It was a little flat, but Lincoln has always been one of those spots that there's lots of land, the climate, people love it. You got golf courses like Verdera out there, Acata Verdera out there as well too. It's really, really nice. You got some active communities as well. You got Sun City, you got what's called Turkey Creek, you got all this stuff. So Lincoln is developing. They also have a lot of infrastructure being put in place as well too. Lincoln also, 12 Bridges is not that far from Rockland, so you also have the new Whitney Ranch Retail Center. Now, the trick about Whitney Ranch also is a lot of people who lived in Whitney Ranch before the retail center is being built would go to Lincoln for the shopping. So Lincoln, you do have the shopping. It's just that it was a little far for some people who needed to commute to downtown Sacramento. So the appeal was a little bit limited, you know, for people who are moving into the area. Now, a lot of people in Sacramento realize that Lincoln prices are pretty good. I mean, if you look at like Liberty, love Liberty, that community. It's kind of like Whitney Ranch without the views, but it's beautiful, right? Clubhouse, pool, the whole 9 yards. Like that community is just priced nicely. Richmond's out there. Woodside Homes is out there as well too. I think Meritage is building out there. So that whole area is going to give you maybe not super affordable, like, you know, like 3s and 4s, but it's going to give you some houses in the 5s, 6s, and 7s that give you a lot more space in a nice area that's up and coming and growing. Now, what are the drawbacks in Lincoln? I like Lincoln. I think it's good. Like I mentioned before, I think it's a little far from downtown Sacramento from some people. And you are on PG&E just to know. But at the same time, I think Lincoln just has so much potential. It's not even funny. Now, Bickford Ranch, if you guys know, Bickford Ranch is where like Shea Homes is building. What else is building out there? Shea is building out there. Toll Brothers is building out there in Tri-Point. So Bickford Ranch is kind of in between like Loomis and Lincoln right there. It's just kind of its own thing. So it's creating almost a luxury vibe out there. And if you guys are fans of Shawwood's going to be building out in Lincoln as well too. So there are some amazing plans for Lincoln, and it's got land. It's got like a lot of space to grow. They probably got to put a couple more lanes on the freeway out there too. You got Thunder Valley, great steakhouse. Lincoln's great, you know, and so I think Lincoln is getting a little competitive. I think it's getting a little pricey out there as well too for the resale. But I also would say that, you know, for those who are looking for Lincoln, they're looking for one of the best up and coming communities in all the Sacramento area. Go out to Liberty. Now, why do I like Liberty? I'll tell you why I like Liberty. A lot of times you go into Sacramento, for example, my area, I live in Gold River. I pay an HOA of $356, something around there a month. Okay. I have no gate. I have no pool. I have no clubhouse. I have none of that stuff. I have some people who like take care of the land and maintenance and the trees and everything too. So for me, I moved here, location close to my wife's family and everything too. But for the most part, I look at something like a Liberty, something like a Whitney Ranch with a low HOA fee, and you get a pool, a clubhouse, that kind of like atmosphere. Like, I think that is worth it. I think going to areas like that, I think that it just makes a whole lot of sense for me. If I'm going to be paying an HOA, I really do believe that an HOA should come with something, and not just, you're paying an HOA, you get to live in this community. I don't see that, right? Unless you're paying maybe like 30, 40 bucks a month, like Crow Downs, where you pay, I think, 80. But at the same time, I do think for me, like Whitney Ranch, 84 bucks, you get a clubhouse, you get a pool, community vibe. There's a school right there. Really, really nice community. Liberty's kind of looking like a Whitney Ranch, and people are loving it. So Lincoln is going to get more pricey. It's going to get way more popular as well too. What you're also noticing too is that Lincoln was one of the first spots to start kind of building the active communities. That's huge out there too. And I'm getting a lot of people who are downsizing and wanting to move to Lincoln, whether it's Sun City, whether it's like, Turkey Creek, whether there's a couple of new ones that are opening up out there too. They really like it. They like the climate. They like the weather. It's really fun. Golf courses and everything too. So Lincoln's on fire right now too. And I think you're going to see prices go up and up and up. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, but Lincoln is definitely one of those spots that is doing well. All right. Now, I don't think the conflict will have a long-term impact on prices. If people want gas prices to be lower, demand the gas taxes to be suspended for the duration of the conflict. Not a bot. Yeah, I know. And here's the thing for me, I think one of the things that I've seen, yes, rates and numbers move the market 100%, but I think when it comes to this stuff, I think it's also just the biggest driver of people buying, selling, holding off and everything too is just fear, right? I think everyone, their anticipation of what's coming, like gas prices, oh my God, gas is going to go crazy. I need to save my money because I don't know where it's going to be. Oh, how long are we going to be at war for? What's going to happen here? What's going to happen there? I think it's fear. And I think a lot of media has to do with that. YouTube too, as well too. Last week, imagine this, rates dropped for the lowest in 3 years. Everybody was basically all over the place. Rates dropped the lowest in 3 years. You got to buy a house. It makes the most sense. Do it, do it, do it. People got that so in their heads that all of a sudden Monday rolls around, they didn't check the rates and rates went up a little bit. And so I do think that you really need to figure out what your life looks like. And as we say on this channel, time your life, don't time the market. But at least the way I look at it is that buy when kind of you're ready. You know what I mean? Like your life tells you you're ready. Timing the market and kind of, basing your decisions on fear is, in this real estate market, it can kind of bite you in the butt sometimes. I'd say a majority of the clients we work with, they're kind of like, yes, I'm a little scared about the war. Yes, I'm a little scared about maybe what's going to happen in the future. Maybe I'm going to hold off for a little bit. But I think if you look down at the core of why they're holding off, it's maybe because buying a house was still one of those purchases that they weren't 100% sure on. And they were thinking, I don't know if it's the right time. Do we really need this house or not? I'd say a lot of people that we work with that are a little bit more sure about their decisions, this really doesn't impact them that much. So for you guys, I would say time your life, don't time the market. For me, that's how I make my home purchases. It's based on if I want a little bit more space. One of the reasons why I moved into Gold River, it wasn't because the rates dropped and I needed to get another house. It was my daughter wanted a pool. So that's what we did. And it was basically based on our life timing, and we were able to do it. So if you focus it a little bit more on that, I think you'll be all right. All right, let's go. Hello. All right. Well, I don't think it'll be long either. I don't think it will at all be that long. I just think that I wonder what the long-term effects are going to be. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Let's see where we go. This is going to be a little bit interesting. Okay, so I want to bring this up too for a second. This is going to be something that probably is going to impact our market more than anything else. And it's a jobs report. You know how jobs reports are. So this is something that you definitely kind of need to pay attention to. It's going to be happening on the 6th, and job numbers. And we're going to go over this as far as unemployment rate and everything too. Thursday, what you're going to notice is that probably as soon as Friday, I think it's the 6th, right? 4th, 5th. No. Okay, it is Friday. My bad. So Friday, the report's going to come out. And then the following week, it's going to be really, really interesting to see what is going to happen based on that. This right here probably is going to be more impactful for rates than the war, than anything else, and Compass and Zillow, whatever. So Friday is going to be a big one. I might even do a special video just about Friday to see how the jobs numbers are, because this is going to be big. And we always talk about it on this channel, but this is something that if it was me and I was thinking to myself, I'm really rate sensitive, this is what I would be tuning into on Friday to see how those numbers look. You know, a lot of times I'll release data that a lot of people think is suspect, but it definitely, based on the data, it definitely moves the rate 100%. So I would say exactly this is something that probably is more of a trigger than anything else happening in the market. So stay tuned for all that. All right. We loved Redfin back in 2020. Redfin, I mean, for me, they all kind of do the same kind of thing. You got like, what is it? Like, you got like, I don't know, homes.com's coming out like a storm and everything too. I think Zillow, their positioning, they did the Zillow leads. They partnered with a lot of realtors and everything too. I think they had a great position for a while. But I do think, you know, Compass is just so out to get Zillow right now too. I think it is going to be it's going to be a war. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, because in our area, we've got a lot of Zillow Flex teams, you know, and it's not just, and how you can say it, like Zillow Flex teams, there's like, everyone's, Zillow Flex teams. There's nothing wrong. Like I have a bunch of friends who are Zillow Flex agents and they're amazing. They close deals and they're fantastic and everything too. But at the same time, I will tell you that, you know, will their business be hurt if everyone pivots to Redfin? Absolutely. I mean, it just has to. So I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to affect the Zillow Flex teams and everything too. It's just going to be a bumpy ride, and this is going to be the war of you know, who wins in our market. I don't know. Compass is just so, you know, so after Zillow. I don't know. It's gonna be very, very interesting. All right, Mark is so popular, his bots subbing. His video on YouTube worked. I know. Bots, bring it. Yeah, I know. It's just so funny. All right, Tatiana, how are you doing this evening? Hopefully you're good. Again, Tatiana has one of the most amazing Instagram accounts. Lifestyle channel. It's really, really good. If you guys want to check a look at it, pretty fun. All right. Video guy Matt. MLS has rules on coming soon, but seems like no one is following MLS rules anymore. So go for it. Yeah, you know, okay. So for me, one of the things I did is that I talked to my broker. First thing I did, because I was like, you know, all these coming soon things. I mean, think about this. If you have an agent in Caldwell Banker or someone, agent in Sotheby's, and they have free reign to basically do a coming soon on one of the major platforms like Redfin, it does put other clients who are listing their homes at kind of a little bit of a disadvantage, right? I mean, you know, they get free access to do that. So I was looking at this and everything too, and I was talking to my broker. I'm like, how can I do this? Because I know that a home tour, I know that I can put that home or whatever I'm listing in front of everybody. And she's like, well, how you do it is this. You do a MLS waiver, you get it signed, you get permission from the seller as well too. And then you have absolutely legal right to do it. Because right now what you're seeing is a lot of brokerages that aren't affiliated with Compass are probably thinking of ways to do coming soons. They're going to be something that once Redfin does this, it's going to be one of those things that it's going to be something that should become almost like regular for every single brokerage to do. Because I do think the brokerages that don't do it are going to be at a huge disadvantage. If it was me, I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm going to list my home. I would want as many eyeballs on that home as humanly possible. And that's why we did YouTube also. I mean, our videos, you know, when we're really throwing out our videos as far as home tours, like the one we did in Newcastle, that thing flew. And by the way, the house in Newcastle that I did about owning a hill, that house is actually coming back up for sale. And we're going to actually re-release that video as a coming soon video as well too. He got the MLS waiver signed and everything. So I don't know. All right. I wish I could love Bickford, but their Mellows are insane. TriPoint has moved in, moving ready home, sitting for a reason, going to need to cut prices. Yeah, and that's the thing. I think TriPoint, Shawwood is going to not build in the Bickford Ranch area specifically for the special assessments. I would say that the only thing about Toll Brothers building out in Bickford, it would have been nice if like there was some kind of clubhouse, pool, or area like that too, but there isn't. So the HOA I think is a little high. Special assessments are as well pretty high as well there too. Now the crazy part is, Tri Point might not be doing fantastic, but Toll Brothers is selling really, really. Actually, they're selling pretty well right now. So they weren't at the end of last year, but it seems like everything is going up and up and up. So it'll be interesting to see how that whole thing does. I like Bickford. I like the area. I like the views. I like the idea of Bickford. I love the idea of having somewhere where you can see snow-capped mountains. I like the idea of being like out there and just because, I mean, everyone dreams of that, right? You want to be like isolated, but not isolated. You want to have the views. You want to have that drive up to your house. A lot of people like that. And so the idea of Bickford's good. I just think the special assessments are a little out of control. And if they got a handle on that just a little bit, it would be nice. And I think that area would just flourish. I mean, remember, Folsom wasn't Folsom overnight. Roseville wasn't Roseville overnight. Those areas took a little while to develop. So it'll be interesting. All right. Loving Whitney Ranch so far. And with the Nugget Market and Shopping Center, it's so convenient. Yeah. And guys, I'm telling you, Whitney Ranch Retail Center, everything that they're doing in Whitney Ranch is just so crazy because, in Rockland, the funny thing is like there's two, I consider Rockland kind of two areas, right? Rockland by the 80 and Rockland by the 65. Now, a lot of people on the 65 were a little bit annoyed because, traffic on the 65 between 65 and 80 is just a little bit of a nightmare. And so a lot of people would pivot to Lincoln to do their shopping. But now with the Whitney Ranch Retail Center, it gave Whitney Ranch the one thing that it needed. It already had Whitney High School. It already had the elementary school they just built up there. Already had an amazing community with one of the best HOAs, period, as far as what you get. So with this, I think a lot of people in Whitney Ranch, I think their prices, I think their, equities can go up. I think you're going to be doing good because shopping's the one thing that a lot of people that we worked with were like, yeah, it still seems a little far from everything. So I think Whitney Ranch is great. I'm excited for everything that's happening there at that area. Hi, Mark. I have so many friends buying land in Newcastle. Can you please tell me something about that area? Thank you. Ooh, Newcastle is fun. Okay, so Newcastle, what can I say? Okay, so I listed a house in Newcastle back in the day. It was this house that was just on a hill. It was kind of like a modern masterpiece. I think I was called it. Newcastle is just a really nice area. And actually, maybe I'll just pull it up on a map. It's very hilly, very rural. I'd say in a lot of ways, Newcastle is just the only problem about Newcastle here. Let me just pull it up real quick here. Hold on. The only problem that I've ever had with Newcastle is that fire insurance tends to be a little brutal. But the area is so beautiful. All right, let's see if we can get there. Boom. All right. All right. Let me see if I got that. All right. All right. Newcastle. Newcastle is very, very interesting because you can't really see it here, but it's pretty hilly. It's kind of like right. Look at that. Here, let's see if I can. It's a really nice area. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Auburn. I think Auburn's probably there's a little bit more shopping, in my opinion, in Auburn. I think Newcastle, you can get a lot of nice land out there. The house that I had, or the house that I showed on the YouTube channel, the one in Newcastle where the hill is, you can buy big pieces of land out there. You can get views out there. How can I describe it though? I would say it has definitely an Auburn feeling to it, kind of a cross between maybe like an Auburn and a Loomis. It's just further out there, and it's gonna definitely feel a lot more rural than some of the other spots. But I like Newcastle. I think it's a great spot, and you can still buy nice land out there and everything. You're gonna probably be on septic. You're gonna be on PG&E for sure. And it's beautiful. I think I just mentioned it to someone who I was talking to on the phone too, that Newcastle is one of those areas that I would not mind living in. The only problem though, like with Newcastle, I would say though, is the fact that in Newcastle, here you go. In Newcastle, you're going to probably you just watch out for home insurance, because even if you buy new, or if you buy those $1 million homes, you're going to really, really need to get home insurance as well too. But Newcastle's nice. And I don't know if you guys can help me out a little bit on this, but I would say Newcastle reminds me of a combination of like Auburn and Loomis. It's that kind of vibe. It just feels a little further out there. But it's a beautiful spot. You can find hills to buy out there. You can buy really nice pieces of land, gorgeous views. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I can't say enough good stuff about Newcastle. I really, really like the area. I did a video also, it was way, way earlier in this channel where like there's a cattle ranch out there as well too. So Newcastle's nice. It hasn't really developed like a Loomis as far as having that kind of like ambiance yet. But I think Newcastle is that spot that everything's kind of migrating towards it. So I think Newcastle is a good spot to do a little investing if you're going to build a custom home, if you're going to buy some land out there as well too. Newcastle is great. There's not negatives anything I would say about Newcastle except for PG&E, home insurance, and it's a little further away from stuff. But I think Newcastle is a great spot. You know, there's Penryn, there's some really cute areas in the Sacramento area. The only thing, like I mentioned, septic, PG&E, but Newcastle is a very, very nice spot. Even though my heart's in Grass Valley a little bit, I like Newcastle. Tatiana, also feel free to reach out. I can talk to you a little bit about Newcastle. I can even show you that video that I did of that house in Newcastle, and they're going to be selling it again. That thing's on like, I think 4 to 5 acres. Really, really nice. And it's coming up for sale, I think in about a month or two. Beautiful house. But it's so nice because it has its own kind of driveway entrance to get up to the hill. And the house has like a guest unit. It's a big house. And I think it's going for something like 1.3, 1.2, but with all that land, the views, you can see everything. It's really, really nice. So yeah, hopefully that hit Newcastle for you. All right. Zillow, just easy to navigate for estimates and research homes. Yeah, I think the thing about software, and back in the good old bad old days, I dabbled a little bit in software, you know, creation, everything too. It's just all about what interface you get used to. For example, if someone has an Apple phone and they're switching to an Android, they don't know where anything is. And I think Zillow just has everyone's used to Zillow. They're the first one who really came out to dominate that field. And so people got used to Zillow. They got used to the app and they feel comfortable with it. Will coming soon force people to go to Redfin and maybe get a little bit more comfortable with that app. I know if it was me and I was looking in a certain area and there was a chance that I could see something hitting the market before it hit the market, that might motivate me to actually download the Redfin app as well too. Only time will tell. Right. Do you work with pre-foreclosure or foreclosure properties as a buyer's agent? Yeah, they're a little bit of a pain, but yeah, we definitely do it. And I have someone on the team who specializes in there, Corey and Rose. And yeah, we work with everything. We're talking divorce stuff as well too. Like we hit every single market there is, investments, luxury, new, every type of home there is to sell, we sell, even mobile. So we do it kind of all. All right. Rumors are Whitney Ranch might be starting to fall into the California Fair Plan as the only insurance option. That'll be a big pain to pricing if that happens. Yeah, it will be. You know, I've heard of some communities kind of flipping into it. I've heard there's parts of Serrano as well too that are getting there. It's a shame because I couldn't imagine, you know, you look at Whitney Ranch, the fire department's super close by, streets are very accessible. Pretty soon the whole place will be built out. So there's not gonna be that much, as far as I see, kind of risk. But I do think the California Fair Plan is going to eat us all up at one point in time. It's really, really a shame because it makes moving to some of these areas that are just gorgeous, hard. And it's a shame because I know a lot of people would love to move to Whitney Ranch. All right. What can you tell us about new homes going up in Grant Line Road? Going to be a good area. What's going on with the Braden Rancho Dova? All right. So downtown Dova is a thing. They're building the indoor MLS, or it's kind of, I don't even know what to call it, but it's basically like an MLS kind of indoor league. So downtown Dova is going to be pretty big. Now, one thing about Rancho Cordova that a lot of people don't know, and I'm not saying yes, no, whatever. I'm just mentioning it because, you know, I'm just mentioning it, right? Downtown Dova has, if you like microbrews, they have a ton of Flaming Barrels out there. I think they have like Movement Brewery as well too. They have a really nice scene out there for that stuff too. So downtown Dova is only going to add to it. And I think it's gonna be interesting. Like the Braden project, also the one that's happening on Douglas, they're going a little slow moving on that. And I think it's mainly, I'm not sure why, because a lot of what they were saying is by the end of this year or sometime this year, the kind of like the market area should have been done. So I don't know what's slowing down the Braden project, but I do have ins on that. So I'll see if I can talk about that or find out someone who knows. Now, the Grant Line Road is, if you guys have driven it, it needs a lot of work still as far as the connector project happening and everything too. it'll be interesting to see what happens to Grant Line. A lot of people don't know this, but when it does rain in the Sacramento area, Grant Line is definitely one of those roads that does get affected. Farming and everything too. But at the same time, if you look at Grant Line, you look at that area, especially if you're hitting into Elk Grove, there's some amazing $1 million homes. So I would expect there to be some communities out there, probably big acres hidden out there. Toll Brothers, I've been mentioning it to the vice president of Toll Brothers, Mo, that he should be building out there. So hopefully we see more building happen in that neck of the woods. I think Rancho is on fire. So, I mean, Rancho's got what? They got Woodside, they got Pulte, they got Elliott, they got Tri-Point, they got Lennar. What else do they have out there? They've got so many homes and so many building out there as well too, and that's right there. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how that whole thing lays out. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll see what else is being built in Grant Line for the next show. But I mean, we're still going. I mean, yes, this war thing has kind of freaked people out, and everyone's a little bit like, I'm not sure if I should buy right now and everything too. But I would say for everyone out there who maybe is thinking about buying within the next couple of years, even start getting out here and looking at the landscape of Sacramento. It changes all the time, and it's a good idea to know, especially if you're going to the new home area, what new home builders are going to start with communities like Taylor Morrison building in Rancho, like Toll Brothers building in West Sacramento. So if you kind of get a little bit of an idea when these builders are building, you're going to know if they match your timelines, communities, areas, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to buy right now, but if the time presents itself, then at least areas. We're gonna be showing a really nice couple this weekend. Also, like the Pocket area, which, as you guys know, is one of my favorite spots. We're gonna also show Land Park, South Land Park, which is one of my spots that I really, really love. We're gonna go to probably Arden Arcade. We're gonna go to Sierra Oaks. It's gonna be really, really fun because I think that area also, because so many people that are coming in from the Bay and LA are focused in on Folsom, Rockland, everything too. But I do think those areas like your Sierra Oaks, your Arden Parks, all those areas there are so much potential in those homes. So we're gonna be looking at some of those, and I'll let you know how that weekend goes. All right. Roseville, especially West Roseville, is massively overpriced. The sewer smell is overwhelming. That's a funny thing. I gotta be honest, I'm out there all the time and I don't smell anything like that. I haven't. And that's just, me saying my experience. I will tell you this though. I think West Roseville, it's priced higher than Rancho, but I think West Roseville is one of the spots I absolutely love. I think that with the water park being built, the new Costco being built, or the new Costco that just launched out there too, Surf Park, and everything built in West Roseville, Placer Parkway, Electric Pickle that's going to happen in Roseville. I don't know. For me, I like West Roseville. I think West Roseville, for the price, I think you got a lot. Does it need a hospital out there? 100%. But I don't know. I think West Roseville is one of those spots where if I was looking specifically for a new home and I was looking for a bang for your buck, I was looking for an area that had growth potential, West Roseville would definitely be one of those spots I hit. All right. How important do you think social media is for real estate agents? I don't know. I mean, social media is still one of those things. I think in the Bay Area, I think social media is one of those things that a lot of agents are really, really they love, right? They get it. They understand it. They understand how the whole thing works. I would say in Sacramento, it's a little different, right? I think some people really get it and some people understand how social media works. And other people it's almost just you're kind of talking to someone. For me, I do a lot of YouTube. And so to find the right kind of brokerage, it was hard because a lot of the brokers in Sacramento don't really understand that, right? You talk to a broker and you're like, hey, look, I do YouTube. That's kind of how I do business. I do my live show. And they're looking at me like they're really not understanding what I'm saying. So I think it starts at the broker level. So let's say, for example, you're a real estate agent and you're getting into the game, right? Even if you're someone who maybe has 1 million subscribers or follower on Instagram, right? You're going to go to your broker and he's going to look at you and go, what you can probably do is buy this software so you can do maybe 100 calls a day. They're going to gear you more towards that. So I think a lot of realtors don't really, when they even start doing this, they don't really see the power of social media. Now, for us in Sacramento, for me, one of the things I realized straight away when I was doing real estate, or when I started my real estate career here, is the fact that our market brings in a lot of people from other markets that really do use social media. For me, this show that I do here in my videos, in my analytics, it shows at least 50% of the people watching my videos watch it on TVs. So I saw that and I saw exactly who was watching my video and everything too. And then all of a sudden the phone started to ring and then people were calling and they're asking questions about the Sacramento area. I think there's still a lot of disbelief with realtors that it doesn't work. A lot of people don't want to invest time with this. A lot of realtors are more like, you know what, I'm going to do an open house or I'm going to do a Zillow Flex thing. I'm not going to invest time in social media. I don't want to invest time doing content. And a lot of realtors, it just takes your phone going out there and filming some videos to see if it kind of works. And the thing I noticed also about realtors in general is consistency is something that not in all of them, but in a lot of them, it's just lacking. If they don't see immediate results, they're off to the next, right? You have people who are amazing, who realize the fact that consistency is the key to this. And this is why I come here Wednesday, usually around 7 o'clock for you guys, because it is about consistency. It's kind of about showing up. And for me, social media has paid dividends, but it's not just because I, do a YouTube video and that's it. It's also because, before I go live, I do a lot of the research. I'm always out there showing houses. I work with a lot of clients. I talk to a lot of people over the phone, so I can bring you guys like really good knowledge about the Sacramento area. And for me, it was something that I wasn't going to stop. I mean, when I first started doing YouTube, man, like 6 years ago, I started doing videos, and for the first year, I literally did not get one call. I started this whole YouTube thing. Like I was the first guy out there with a channel, except for one guy. God, what was his name? Man, he's a realtor out of Sierra Oaks. Really nice guy too. Doug Reynolds. Doug Reynolds was like the OG Sacramento real estate channel, right? And so I came out and I was probably second and I started doing my videos, but there was never like one of those things where I was going to give up doing it. I was like, I'm going to do a video every single week. And I did a video, did a video, did a video, did a video. After a year's time, I kind of like fine-tuned what I was doing. And then all of a sudden people were calling me up saying, hey, I saw you do a video on Loomis. Talked to them a little bit about Loomis, and people were calling up and I was giving it information and we were connecting, we were talking a little bit. And if the connection is there, we would work together. And I think that became something that really was great for my business. I think, there are realtors out there like Sam Galovi, like other realtors who, at first weren't having like maybe a huge success with their YouTube channels. And then they would call me up and I'd talk to them, tell me exactly what I did, because I'm a sharing kind of guy. And I was like, this is what you do, and this is how you should do your stuff. So YouTube became a little bit part of his business. Now, where I've really seen social media take off is Instagram. And I think a lot of people are focusing in on Instagram, like Jason, he was on this channel last week doing the show, he popped on the comments. He's really big in Instagram, and Instagram for him has made him done a lot of business with Instagram. And there's other maybe 5 or 6 people in our area who actually are really good at Instagram, and it's very good for their business. But the key to doing videos, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram, whether it's TikTok or whatnot, it's choosing a platform and being very consistent about the content you're delivering, having branding, but also about just the consistency of your video. If you're going to say to people, I'm going to be every single Wednesday at a certain time and I'm going to do my live show, it's about showing up. How I look at it is this: for anyone out there looking to work with me, you're going to know that I'm telling people that I'm going to be live on Wednesday at 7 o'clock, right? So I'm here on Wednesday. I'm showing up. I'm living up to what I'm saying I'm going to do. And I think a lot of people in real estate, it's just so like, I'm going to pay Zillow, I'm going to get leads, I'm going to make money. And I think social media for a lot of people can be a huge, huge thing, except it sometimes doesn't pay off right away. And you have to be a little bit more consistent on social media. But for realtors in other areas, like I talk to a lot of people from San Francisco, from Los Angeles, New York, they all do their 100% business on Instagram and on like YouTube and on TikTok. So for me, this has been great for me, and I think other realtors should do it. I think the more realtors we have there doing YouTube, the more realtors we have there doing Instagram, the more choices you guys get, right? So maybe I don't work for you, and that's completely fine, but you find someone who actually fits what you're looking for, you work with them, and you already kind of know exactly what they're all about. So that's it. All right, off my soapbox today. All right, we found Mark through social media, so I would say it's valuable. Thanks, Fred. Like for me, another thing too, and I'll say one last thing before I pivot to something else. I would say one of the biggest disconnects people can have on social is um, being someone different on social media than you are in person. I've seen that be one of the biggest fails for real estate agents in general. Is that, on their videos are like, hey, how are you doing? Welcome to Sacramento. And then you pick up the phone and they're monotone and they just don't sound like the same person you have a video for. For me, what you're going to notice is that if you watch my live videos, if you watch my house tours, chances are if you call me, I will answer the phone and it will basically be the exact person you're watching on the live show on the phone. And when we meet, it'll be the same thing. So you're going to kind of know what I'm all about. But I know a lot of realtors, it's hard for them. They're like, the camera turns on and they're a personality and they're not really who they are on the phone. And I'd say that's probably something else they might need to work on. All right, to the next. Do you know if Richmond American has a good reputation? I don't hear about them that much and see some of their builds around. Oh, Richmond, I think they have a decent reputation. Okay. I would say that their marketing is subpar. I think they don't do good marketing. I've never had any problems with anyone that we moved into Richmond American homes, and we moved in a lot of people into homes at Richmond American. We moved them in at Stone Bluff, up in Folsom, moved them in some of the communities, Elk Grove. I moved a lot of people into Richmond homes. Maybe like 5 or 6 years, I moved maybe about 20 people into Richmond homes. We've never had problems with Richmond. It's been really, really nice. I'd say there may be I would say there's some builders that are at the same point, like your like Woodsides, your Taylors, your like that kind of group. I'd say putting them there. I think Richmond is a good builder. I think right now they're going through a huge shift where like this one Japanese company is buying, like they bought Richmond, they bought Woodside, and there's a whole rebranding happening. So you might actually see the quality even go to another level in Richmond as well too. But my guess is, Jacob, you're probably talking about the Richmond American that you see right now being built in the Rancho area. My 2 cents. I think that community right now is a little overpriced. I think their other community was a good price point. I think people liked it. I think the community they're building right now is hurting in Rancho, and I think that it's a little overpriced for what it should be. I think that if you are looking in the Rancho area, I think the communities to look at right now, it's easily got to be Woodside, Aspen, and Willow. Like I was in there 2 weeks before the models even hit. That community is just on fire right now. I mean, I talked to this one, I think it was Katie, who is doing, I think she did Aspen or Willow, whatever. And I talked to her, I was like, yeah, one of my clients wants this house, and she's telling me there's like 30 people that are pre-approved waiting for the email to go out about a release. And so that community, I like it. Richmond did something that most builders shouldn't do, especially in this type of market. Okay, so kind of how new builders work, especially successful ones, right? So let's say let's say a floor plan that they're going to release is the floor plan number 1. And they're saying, okay, target price we're looking for this floor plan is $600,000. So what we're going to do is we're going to release it at $560,000. Then we're going to increase it $5,000 every single increase. Then by the end of the build, it's going to be even over $600,000. Now, Richmond didn't do that. They actually started high. So they started probably at the price point that they wanted to sell at. And that's why their community right now in Rancho is hurting so much. Majority of builders like your Taylors, your Woodsides, even like Lennar, they always price smart. You always go underneath what you're expecting to get for the house, because in your release, that's when you build up momentum. So a lot of builders do that. Richmond doesn't, and it tends to end up hurting their communities a little bit. So that's my 2 cents on Richmond. All right, Wendy, how are you doing? All right, Wendy actually had a question that I was going to answer on live, and I apologize, Wendy. Today's been absolutely nuts. But okay, so in Gold River, what you're noticing is the HOAs are going up. And for a lot of people, when HOAs go up, they kind of are making a little bit of a judgment call if they should move or they shouldn't move, right? Now, one thing I will tell you about Gold River specifically is that a lot of the homes were built in the 80s. So what you're seeing right now is a lot of people have these big homes, they're empty nesters, and they've already been kind of thinking about, maybe like leaving the area and moving into another house. This definitely could spur them to do it if HOA prices go maybe up, another $100 a month. So you could definitely see it, but where it's going to be the most obvious is if you start seeing inventory hit the market. That's going to be the telltale sign if people are leaving because of HOAs. For me, like I said, my HOA is 356. Would I leave if my HOA increased $100? I would not. I'll tell you why. Because my interest rate is really, really good. and I haven't paid off my house just yet. So I would probably stay put. I wouldn't be happy about it, but it's way more beneficial for me to stay in my house as opposed to sell my house, jump into another house, and maybe get what, like a 6.2% interest rate. So that would be just how I would feel. All right. By the way, social media, especially YouTube, is great for real estate investors who aren't familiar with the area. The videos are perfect for learning about the region, neighborhoods, homes, and etc. Yeah, one of the reasons why I wanted to do the videos as well too, and it took me a while to do the right type of videos, right? Because for me at first, I was doing these videos and they were like, oh my God, inspections on a home, or like how to get approved and all this stuff too. And it was just not resonating with the audience that I was going to create on this channel. The videos that really, really did well for me were going through the areas, talking about an area, talking about house styles, price points, distance to downtown, distance to airports, all those type of things really, really worked because I put myself in the shoes of someone who's coming into an area, didn't know the area that well, and what were things that would be really important to me. All those things I put into my videos at the very beginning. And those are the videos that really did well because, it's hard when you do YouTube specifically, or even any type of social media, because you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, that's a great idea. Or I saw Bob do that, right? Bob did great in that video. I'm going to do a video just like it. But if you are doing social media, you really need to figure out what your audience wants, right? Like, for example, this live show that I do, it really doesn't do a whole lot for growth of my channel. In fact, because it goes so long, at times it hurts the growth of my channel. But I do this show because I know a lot of people will get value from the show. And so for me, I do stuff a little bit different than most YouTubers. What you're going to notice on my channel is that if people list homes with us, we put them on the channel, right? Now, a lot of people are like, well, that's a no-brainer. You should. Majority of YouTubers that actually have channels will never put your home on their channel. Why? Because it's different content that they release. Normally people release pros and cons of Sacramento. And I have released videos like this, and they do certain videos that do well. And they look at it more and they gear their channel more for how will a video do and how will the algorithm treat my video. And so home tours essentially at times don't do really well for YouTube channels. So you see a lot of realtors that shy away from putting a listing on their YouTube channel because it actually hurts their channel. Why am I the only one doing the live show every single week? Because I do a live show that goes for about an hour to 2 hours. And usually people will watch the show, maybe sometimes all of it. Hopefully you guys do. But sometimes people tune in for maybe 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and they're gone. So average view duration of my videos is low for these long videos. And what that ends up doing is ends up actually hurting my my channel in the algorithm. Now, why do I do this? Why do I kind of go against the grain? Is it just because I don't care? No, it's because I also think as a realtor, I owe it to you guys to come and do a live show. I owe it to you guys to answer your questions, because if I was in your position, I would love this forum, being able to ask my questions, being able to read the comments from other people, and feeling like this wasn't just a smoke and mirror show where I could say, you know what, I didn't like that cut, let's do it all over again. Or let me do this. So this is why the live show happens, because it's just completely unscripted. It's completely real. The comments that come in, like that bot person, I didn't know that was going to happen. This is something to show you guys that I am who I am. And the knowledge I'm bringing in isn't scripted. I'm not reading it off a teleprompter or whatnot. It's a live show that I'm doing for you guys, so I can tell you exactly what's happening in the market. And why do I put my listings on my channel, even if they hurt my channel? Because you guys are trusting me with your homes to sell. Why would I not put your homes front and center of my channel if it could get you more buyers? So that's it. All right, soapbox done on that. Right. Boom. I know HOAs can be a pain, but I live in the neighborhood without an HOA. You can get the worst neighbors, and there are no rules to stop them from being a nuisance. Never again. Yeah, great point. Pros and cons of HOA. I think one is the Gold River HOA, in my opinion, is a little high for what I'm paying, right? Comparatively towards other communities. I think if you have an HOA and you're not getting a gate, you're not getting a pool or anything too, I think it should just be a kind of nominal amount that will enforce the CC&Rs, right? And restrictions. That way, in case you have a neighbor parking 5 cars on the lawn, you can do something about it. So I do think there's a balance. I do see value in an HOA at times. So yeah, I think you're right, Pamela. Yeah, exactly. That's such a good point. I think for some people it works, some people it doesn't, but I do think you really, really need to you kind of got to just figure out exactly like what that limit is, what it's worth to pay and what it's not. Because at the end of the day, like I look at myself and I look at like what I'm paying here every single month and I don't get a gate, I don't get a pool, I don't get anything. And then I look at Whitney Ranch and I'm like, man, 84 or $82. They get a pool, they get a barbecue area, they get like so much nice stuff. They get these walking paths where they can sit and watch stuff. So I think it's a pro and con. I think you got to do it. Now, the one thing I will say about HOAs, and this is a huge thing, before you pull the trigger on the house, read over the HOAs. Straight up, read over the HOAs and figure out about the rules and regulations. I would even say if you have the time, go to one of the board meetings because you're going to know exactly what type of HOA you're dealing with. It's huge. All right, let's go. Arthur. Oh man, I swear Arthur and Alana have the cutest kids like ever. They're some of my favorite people. Arthur, hopefully you're good, man. All right. Thanks for sharing tons of information for us. I've been watching you since last year when we made the move here from Hawaii. When we made the move from Hawaii to here. About to close on a house in the Vineyard next week. Keep it up. Hey, good. Vineyard. Meritage is building there right now too. I'm guessing you're probably closing on a Taylor Morrison home over there too. I like Vineyard. I think Vineyard, Elk Grove Unified School District. I think Vineyard is a nice area. The funny thing about the Vineyard area is that people don't really realize that where Taylor Morrison's building, if you go just a little bit around the block, you're going to see some of the more expensive homes in all the Sacramento area in that spot. There's all these like multi-million-dollar homes. You have also beautiful, like the Wild Hawk Country Club or, golf course and everything too. Really nice area. It's going to give you the impression that's a little bit more rural than it is. Cause if you look on a map, you're going to see all sorts of stores and everything too. So the Vineyard area, I think it's definitely like a sleeper. I think, I like the Vineyard area a lot. Chris, not a bot. I love it. Thank you. If you guys are watching and you're not a bot, please let me know. All right, didn't get a chance to work with you, but we'll definitely tell people to look for you when they buy or sell their homes. I appreciate it. And look, here's the thing. As long as you had a good experience, the journey of buying, the journey of selling is yours. If I get to be a part of it, I'm lucky. I really, really am. And also, sometimes I talk to people and maybe they have a question, maybe they're working with somebody else, and I definitely don't mind stepping in and talking to them and giving them a little bit of like information on stuff. Again, one of the things I always try to do, and hopefully for the people I work with and my clients, you'll understand this. I always try to keep the idea that this is a huge purchase for you. This is a huge move. And that if I can do anything, even just a little tiny thing to make it better for you, that's what I'm here for, but the journey is yours. And when I work with someone, there's no ego, there's no anything. It's more just about education. And eventually, honestly, straight up, the house, you will find the house for you. You just do. I've seen so many people. You don't need to be sold. Don't need to be told this is the right house for you. All you have to do is open the door, educate the person, go through it, see if you see things that kind of are red flags. But at the end of the day, someone's going to know, and it's their journey. You're just lucky enough to be part of it. And that's cool because this is the house that they're going to have memories in. This is the house they might raise families in. This is the house that might be retiring to. This is the house that they always dreamt of. And it's kind of fun and it's kind of cool that myself, my team, we get to be a part of that. And we're very grateful for it. All right. Boom. I commend Mark for doing a live show. It proves how open and honest he is. You never know when someone will show up and troll every one of your videos for fun and keep you on your toes. I know, like that bot guy, he kind of had me a little bit like I've just never had anyone kind of troll me like that before. So I got to be honest, it kind of threw me off my game. I was kind of like wondering, I'm like, is he going to keep going? Is he going to keep going? So I don't know. But again, this is what you get when you do a live show. You get comments, you get questions. Sometimes you get a curveball thrown at you. Sometimes you walk in. There have been times when I've done the show. I kid you not. I've walked in the door from showing all day. I'm hot and I don't even know what I'm going to go over that night or the show. And I just, you got to show up and do it. All right. Love the live show, Mark. Well, I plan on going as long as you guys, are good with it. and this show is for you guys. Again, this does for my channel, does nothing for the growth of the channel. In fact, if you've noticed, like some of my live shows after about a week kind of peter out a little bit just because of the average view duration and everything too. But I really do it because you guys watch it and you guys comment and you guys participate. And I do think this show is valuable for people who are looking to move into the area, who might just sitting there anonymously watching this and might be going like, I've been thinking about moving to other spots. My friend maybe lives in Folsom. I want to know what that spot's like. I'm not really ready to reach out to anybody, but I'd love to see a little bit of chatter about what it's like moving to Sacramento. So I appreciate you guys also for commenting, questions, keeping the conversation going. All right, willing to go lower with all cash offer. Not sure previous comment went through too long. Okay, hold on. Let me see. That bot guy kind of crushed the comments tonight. If you want to go, one casual one, hit me with the full comment. Willing to go. I think with cash right now, cash is great. I think sometimes though, when it's a high demand home, like maybe the first week, first 10 days, cash won't be too much of a leverage maker. A lot of people are like, nah, it's been on just for a little bit of time. I'm still getting a lot of activity. But if it goes past 2 weeks, cash, and it keeps going and going and going, like cash becomes so much stronger and so much stronger. For example, even the house that I have in Folsom, cash is definitely something because then all of a sudden we can close sooner, less carrying costs, mortgage and all that stuff too. We can make the deal happen a lot sooner. I've actually closed a cash deal in 7 days, which is very much appealing to people who have had properties that they literally just want to get rid of. Okay, one last thing about Compass too that I wanted your guys' feedback on. Tell me what you think. I don't want to be too much of a boo-hooer, but okay, so the CEO of Compass did a YouTube video. He talked to the guy, CEO of Rocket and everything too. And he basically said what he wants to eradicate from I guess Redfin when he starts listing everything there is he doesn't want to show buyers days on the market and he doesn't want to show them pricing history. So what that would mean is that you would go to an app, you would see a house, you'd see a price. You wouldn't be able to know what the house sold for before, or if the price has been modified, if it went up, if it went down, and you wouldn't know exactly how many days on the market it was on. And those are huge things for buyers. A lot of buyers are very savvy and, they're looking at a house and they're like, I saw it here last year. Or like, a house just like this sold over there. And like days on the market and price history are so essential for buyers. Now, here's what the Redfin CEO said. And I don't agree with this, but, Redfin CEO said, well, I think sellers don't get the information on how long the buyer has been looking. So, they should get that information if we're willing to give them days on the market and price history. For me, gotta be honest with you. It's like, let's take the analogy of Best Buy, right? If you go there to buy a TV, you probably know how much the TV was selling for, if it's on sale, how long it's been sitting there, how long the deal's been going on. They don't really know exactly how long you've been looking for a TV set. So I found the conversation a little bit fishy. And he was mentioning in Australia, they don't have days on the market or pricing history. Now for me, I think as a buyer, I would like to know how long the house has been on the market and the price history of the house, because it helps me formulate a offer. I feel more comfortable putting an offer if I know everything. And I think it adds to the transparency of a deal. So I'm kind of leaning towards, I think this is a bad idea to stop it, but I want to know what you guys think. Do you think if Compass, literally gets away with like not doing days on the market and pricing history, do you think it's a good thing or do you think it's a bad thing? Now, try not to think too much about that if you're trying to sell your house. Think about this from both standpoints. As a seller, I understand how this would be amazing for you. You'd be like, this is great. No one can see the price. I can throw it up there. But think about it this way. You put a house up, you put it up for $1 million. Maybe the house, is valued at like $850, but no one knows, no one knows the pricing history. No one knows days on the market. It's been there for a year and someone decides to put an offer for, they're like, $1 million. I think it's worth it. I mean, it should be worth it. I mean, I don't know if it's worth it or not, but I'm going to pay $1 million. So he puts in an offer over $1 million and then we get to appraisal and it appraises for $850. I don't think that puts you in a good position, whether you're a seller or a buyer. So for me, I really, really think that this is something that's going to mess with people. I think buyers are going to be even more annoyed about this. But again, that's just my humble opinion on it. I think that when you take out transparency, it really doesn't, it's not a good thing. What do you guys think? All right. Boom. All right. Don't like Compass, days on market and history help me determine what my offer would be. By the way, not a bot. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think for me, I think that when you take out pricing history and days on market, I think that there is a level of like, I'm not feeling too, I think, why are you taking that stuff away? I mean, and I got nothing against Compass. I got nothing against Zillow. I got nothing against Redfin. But when he said that, it's like, so you're basically saying that people shouldn't have transparency in a transaction. Because I do think that that's part of a transaction. I mean, imagine going to like a store and buying something that you were not able to access any type of data on it, and you just went in there to buy it. So for me, I don't know. I think you got to be fully transparent. I mean, we got into a situation with one of our deals that we had, and the agent wasn't transparent, and it blew up in their face. So I think going into like a transaction, you should always be as transparent as humanly possible. Because I think at the end of the day, that's how you do good business. I think that, when you put in offers, you should get the disclosures ahead of time. You should look at the reports and everything too. And you should kind of know what you're buying. In fact, when I list homes, the disclosures are readily available and everything is there because I really want whoever's buying the home to not have some kind of like hang up on the home that we're going to see 3 weeks into the transaction, because it just doesn't work good for anybody. So for me, I think transparency is vital. I think pricing history, buyers should have access to. I think days of market as well, buyers should have access to. I just think what we're seeing right now is, again, everyone has 2.75s. Sellers at times tend to want to sell their homes for a little bit more than maybe they should in this market. And I think that we're just seeing a little tougher of a seller's market. Some things aren't moving. And I think that this is a little deceptive again, but I don't know. What do you guys think? All right. Let's get some more. Okay. By the way, not a bot. All right. Days buyers are looking isn't as useful as days on the market. Days on the market. Sorry about that, Christopher. Days on the market are looking isn't useful as days on the market. I can look for years, but doesn't but what does that tell the seller? Yeah, agree. And that's the thing for me. I mean, if I'm selling a house and there's a seller that's been like looking for 3 years and he wants to offer me $1 million for a house that I have on the market for $1 million, I'm not really going to care how long he's been looking. I'm going to make sure he has the funds, and then I'm going to put him in contract. So yeah, I'm with you 100%. All right. Don't trust any companies that hide information. Bad start. I agree. And I can't believe he said that in public. It totally blew me away. All right. How does Compass plan to do this? I'll just build a scraper and host the data elsewhere. Yeah. I was actually wondering about that as well too. I think that what's going to happen at the end, and this is my own like thought, is I think they're going to lean into Redfin. I think possibly they're going to end up blocking a lot of the listings from Zillow. And then if they control the platform like Redfin, and Redfin, let's say, goes neck and neck with Zillow, and you're only able to see certain listings on Redfin, it could, of course, it's going to divide up the market. But if they're in bed with Redfin, they could really dictate what that platform shows or doesn't show, which could really lead to problems. I mean, in essence, they're trying to get away from the MLS. So I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, he was saying that in Australia, they don't do this and this is what we should do. And for me, it just brought up a lot of red flags as far as transparency. I mean, I don't know, myself, I think when you go that direction, it just doesn't end up being well for anybody. I think I would feel very deceived if I bought a house for $1 million, got an appraisal on it. It appraised for $850. And then I realized that I'd waste money on inspections. $700 for the appraisal. I'd already like fallen in love with the house. I'd be a little bit annoyed at that point. All right. Compass CEO why not make the information available for buyers? I don't know. I think it's, I mean, as a buyer, I think I'd be a little annoyed not to have that data, but that's just me. All right. Favorite steak in the Sacramento area. Guys, if you're enjoying the broadcast, please Smash that like button. Show me you're not a bot. Texas Roadhouse is our go-to place for pulled pork, steak, and that freshly baked bread before a meal. Oh, all right, Sergio, my friend, I think I might have to go there. Next time I'm going to the Bay Area on my way home, I might have to hit there. Boom. All right, next. Sacramento housing market. Here's what's coming. There's a weird lag between, okay, so what I'm going to start doing now too is I have an office in East Sacramento. So I'm going to start building out a studio. So when I have guests on, I'm actually going to make the drive down to the studio, set it up. And so we're going to have 2 mics. So there will not be any lag, and it should be a little bit better of an experience. So that should be coming up sooner than later. All right, who's looking for a home underneath $400,000? Okay, this is tough. I would say if you're looking for something under $400,000, there are some little areas. If you're looking for a 2 and 2, I'd say maybe you could probably find some North Highlands, some Citrus, maybe like Colonial Heights. I would say if you're looking for something new, I'd say LGI and Linda. That might not be too bad. But under $400,000 is just a tough price point. Even then, like with the new homes in Rancho, I think you can still get under $500,000, but under 4, that's becoming very, very, very hard to do in the Sacramento area. All right, and stay in Northern California state. This home we did a video of. This was Alana's listing, and she's got like 5 offers on it. So yeah, social media, YouTube works. Boom. Who is looking for a home underneath 400? Closing on my house is Friday. Been watching you for a couple months now, but we needed to get into the house since our second baby's on the way and buying in Rio Linda. I'm solo income household, and we got in for, look at that, $349, then paying $10,000 in seller credit. Good for you. And here's the thing. Again, I say it right back, like I said it before, the journey is completely about you. If I, for some reason, was part of it, maybe because of the show, I'm more than happy to be there. But congratulations on the house. And, hopefully you absolutely love the house, and hopefully, you're smiling ear to ear and it makes sense to you. How does Cattleman's compare with Texas Roadhouse? I like Cattleman's. I've never been to Texas Roadhouse. So I have to give it a shot. I'll ask Sergio though, Fred. All right, here we go. Sacramento housing market. Rates are still way too high for me to sell and upgrade. Yeah, they're still high. I mean, it was kind of a weird one as far as rates kind of ticking up Monday and Tuesday. I don't know where rates are going to go. I think a lot of people are assuming that, all the investors are going to start buying bonds. And if they buy bonds, interest rates will go down. But I do think that if gas prices, which I'm fairly sure they are going to go up, all of a sudden we're in inflation. And I think everything's going to go up in prices and people are going to keep their money. And I can't see rates. I think rates will be hovering maybe between maybe between 6 and 6.5 for a little bit. I don't know. It's going to be really crazy. And guys, again, I'm not a lender, but what I'm seeing probably between that, I just don't see that. I just don't know exactly what rates are going to do. I think what's going to drive the market though is, I know numbers drive it. I know spring market is coming up, but I think it's just a fear of what's going to happen. I think a lot of people are freaking out right now. All right. Wendy, I may have some good news tomorrow. I am happier. Good. I like it. All right. We'll talk tomorrow. All right. Who's thinking about moving back to California? Yes, but not to a pricey suburb, unfortunately. Hopefully 2027 would be a less costly year for home buying, and we can get something in Fair Oaks or Carmichael when that time comes. All right, Sarah, when you're ready, let me know. But yeah, I love Carmichael. I love Fair Oaks. I would throw a couple other wild cards in there. I'd say maybe your Orange Vales, maybe Citrus Heights as well too. But yeah, love Fair Oaks, love Carmichael. Both really, really nice spots. Hey, Sacramento's housing market. We're patiently waiting for the right home. Won't be rushing ourselves into our next home. I think that could be the comment of the night. I think for everybody, this you should look at. This is timing your life, not the market. And also, if it was me, I am a picky person. It took me a good 6 months to find the home I wanted. And I would encourage everyone that if they are going to be making a move, if they are going to be paying that mortgage payment, just be sure of what you're buying. Especially in this market, there's no weird pressure that you should be feeling. Rates, here and there, inventory, probably going to go up a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of pocket listings, a lot of people throwing listings that were on last year out on the market again, but I don't think there's a big pressure. I don't think you should be feeding into any type of market frenzy. I think you should go slow, do your research, get your education done. And when the right house presents itself, if the timing is right for you, there you go. All right. Who do you guys like better? Redfin, Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com. Homes.com with a 1%. All right. You guys are all Zillow people. All right. Okay. Zillow wins this round. But here's the thing. If Redfin is the only platform showing you houses that are coming to the market 30 days in advance, would you switch to Redfin? That is the question. And again, I'm not pro Redfin. I'm not pro Zillow. I got nothing against Compass except for the whole transparency thing. So for me, I'm kind of sitting on the sidelines doing my YouTube thing and watching everyone vie for like property and real estate in the real estate market. Crazy stuff. All right. Who thinks rates will go up this week? Yes. You guys are right. They went up, except for today. They kind of dipped down a little bit. I'm kind of curious as to like what's going to happen when the jobs report hits on Friday. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. The impact Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. Jobs report is gonna be huge, guys. And I'm gonna put some post as soon as it does it. And I'm gonna give you guys a little idea of what we can expect next week. Jobs report, guys, is going to be more impactful than probably like gas prices, more impactful than the war. The jobs report is going to be huge this week. All right, better 50 freeway or 80. I think 80 is overwhelming. I was told the 50 would be done this year. I'm not saying I doubt it, but hopefully it will be. Who wins, Sacramento or Yuba? Guys, Sacramento by 81%. I wouldn't expect anything different. All right, who's looking for a home under $400,000? Yes. $400,000 is tough. I would say if someone's looking for 400, there are some homes. Square footage wise, you're probably looking at 1,600, probably a 3 and 2, probably a little bit of a fixer. There are some homes that are in the Sacramento like this. Now, good news, bad news is you probably have to put a lot of sweat equity in, but at the same time, rule of real estate, buying one of the most affordable houses in an area. You buy something and if you get something for under $400,000, you could see some probably crazy appreciation as well too, and equity being built into your home. All right. Who's looking to buy at the end of 2026? Yes, no. 28% of you guys said yes. Well, hopefully Jerome Powell stepping down bumps it a little bit for you, maybe to jump out there. Hopefully spring market, you see the inventory you're looking for as well too. And we can get that 28% to maybe a 50%. And that's the last thing. Let's see what else we got here before we say goodnight. Roseville and three-way, 3 and 2s are 430. Tough out there. Yeah. And that's the hard part. There are some little pocket new home communities. I'd say Elliott Homes in Rancho, but they're tiny. I would say, where else would I say? Meritage. And there's some stuff in South Sacramento at Delta Shores. There are these little areas. It's just that you really have to know where they are. If you guys are looking for new homes or whatnot, reach out to us. There are these little pocket communities that are kind of interesting to look at. I still think, though, one of the things you guys have to understand about new homes is with the incentives, sometimes you can actually afford something in the 500s if you can get your interest rates bought down to like, low 4s or something too. Just keep that in mind. I would say if you're looking for new homes and let's say you don't want to work with a realtor, and you should because we're, builder pays our fee. But if you don't, I would say when you go to look at new homes, have them run some numbers for you. Think less about home price and think more about monthly payment. That's going to help you out a whole lot because I've seen people getting like KHOV offers some like 3% interest rates. There's some 3-2-1 buy downs. I've been seeing a lot of builders offer 4% interest rates as well too, or in the 4s. So buy downs are key. And one of the main reasons why a lot of people are switching from resale to new homes is because of these buy downs. The buy downs are nuts. The incentives are giving are crazy. If you look at the Sacramento area, yeah, a lot of people don't like the fact that the new homes are a little bit tighter, but at the same time, you're talking about insulation, you're talking about energy efficient, you're talking about solar. Price point, very competitive to Sacramento as well too. In fact, in some areas like your Folsoms, new homes are actually less expensive than resale homes. So that's one of the things about our market that's a huge thing. I mean, new homes are just such a piece of our market. There's a ton of new homes being built in Elk Grove, West Sacramento, Vineyard. There's some pockets in like Antelope, Fair Oaks. There's one community in Fair Oaks. Where else are we looking? We got some new homes being built in the future in Loomis by Shawwood. We got Toll Brothers building in Bickford with Tri-Point and Shawwood. And what's that other one? The other community up there too. Gotta forget their name. But okay, the active community up there, the plus 55 community. Then you got Liberty over in Lincoln. There's a ton of new home building over there. And then if you're looking for like, 3s to 4 price point, you got Linda, you got Plumas Lake. You got you got a lot of places building. Then you got West Roseville and you got Rockland. Guys, if you're looking for new homes, man, you've come to the right spot. I don't know if there's any place in California that's building more new homes in the Sacramento area. There's a ton of them. Let me see. We got one more for this evening. All right. Yuba is amazing. The cost of living is awesome. 5-3. See, okay. Yuba. I've got to do some videos on Yuba as well, too. I like the idea of Yuba as an option for people. I think Yuba, I think Plumas Lake, I think Linda, I think Olivehurst, I think even the other side, you got like Nevada City, Grass Valley. I think all those areas, as Sacramento grows and develop with everything that we have, infrastructure, new homes, new schools, and everything happening, I think those areas are the future of our entire Sacramento kind of area. I know Yuba is not part of Sacramento, but you know what I mean. And if you guys are looking for affordability, I think Sacramento is not going to be that, shortly. And I think if you're looking for affordability, especially if you're someone who lives in California, you want affordable, Yuba, Plumas Lake, Linda, Olivehurst, those are the new affordable until they're not. All right, guys, that's the show for the night. If you guys enjoyed the show, smash that like button in the comments. Tell me that you're not a bot. That'd be great. And I'll see you guys on Friday when I drop a community tour of Meritage Homes in Natomas. Great bang for your buck. Fantastic community. I mean, the bang for your buck, what you can get for its square footage is just insane. And that's it, guys. I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm going to go for a walk. You guys enjoy your evening. Okay, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the show tonight. Buying and selling is stressful. I mean, there are definitely different avenues you can go in, and there's no guarantee. Every property is different, whether you're looking to buy it or sell it. So reach out to our team and we can talk to you a little bit about the pros and cons of selling currently, what your house is valued at, and all that stuff too. There's a link below to schedule a call. Now, if you're thinking about moving to the area, guys, reach out to our team as well. We're working with a lot of people relocating them to the Sacramento area. We absolutely love it. There's a Zoom link below. Set up a time where we can talk to you a little bit about what your needs are. Now, if you enjoyed this live broadcast, smash that like button. We would love to talk to you a little bit about Sacramento. I mean, we always are out and about. So if you're looking at places like El Dorado, Roseville, Rockland, Davis, we got you covered. Just reach out to us. And maybe you don't want to do a Zoom call, so just hit me at my phone number on the banner and we can talk a little Sacramento. Now, guys, one last thing before I go. There's a playlist right over there of other videos I've done about the Sacramento area. Knowledge is power. Those videos will help you kind of make a decision if Sacramento is that spot for you and you want to take it to the next stage. All right, guys, this is Mark. Have a good one. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Remember, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next video.